It's the hot spot. Tell them what you got. Welcome through the hot spot. Getting straight off the top.
Welcome back, everybody, to another hot spot with Man First podcast. I am Mixed.
I'm J0.
Folks, we just did a full on Man First podcast of talking about failures that men face, personal and professional. And turns out I didn't record the audio. It just makes sense.
Oh man, bro, failure. That subject will come back. We'll bring it back later.
Yes. So we were having after our last failed recording a couple minutes ago. It was a good 40 minutes, man. It's a 40-minute episode. But we'll come back. To it. We'll talk about failures amongst men in modern day times. Then we started talking after we stopped recording video. And you said, man, let's just get back in. Let's record something real quick. And what we were talking about was younger folks today, and it affects us because we have family members that are younger in the next generation of humans, and it's just
which I believe is cooked. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think I don't. I think I'll be okay being in the ground when they're in charge, man.
It's partially their fault, but at the same time, it's partially not. Mm-hmm. But like we're talking about in our failure video, got to take accountability for what we do, for the decisions we make and stuff. We were talking about that after we recorded, and so let's just pick up where we left off. Like we're not in the last video, but what we're talking about off camera. Kids, not even kids, but they act like kids. You know what I mean? And I think, were we the same way? Like, at what age would you say you said I'm a child. I need to man the hell up. I need to be an adult, essentially. Not necessarily man up, but I need to be an adult. Like what age would that be for you?
Very late, man. I would say 20. Yeah. 23. Yeah. 24. I was like right before I joined the military, bro. That was the reason why I joined the military. I was like, yo, I need a man to fuck up. Yeah. Excuse my language, but that is straight what I said. I was like, yo, this is, I can't live this way, mom. Like,
Yeah.
I had my car towed. I lost one of the most traditional, probably the best girl in my life, and I was the one to push her away because I felt like I was dragging her along with me, right. And I was like, yo, you deserve better. Yeah. That was the best girl to be with, man. She, I would say she had all the check boxes. I could have been a family man with her, right. But I was a boy. I was a child. Yeah. I was selfish. I was always complaining. I was blaming other people. I never took accountability. Mm-hmm. I was, man, like I said, I think I told you many times in this show, I was a bitch back in the day, bro.
Well, so the reason I asked is because what's funny is I think I started to get that sense of, man, I'm like a child, like right up until where I left for the Navy. Well, maybe a little before then. So I was about 20. And I was like, man, because I was in a relationship with a woman, and I was like, our buddy, our high school friend that we're still friends with now, what I'm talking about, he got married. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking like, man, this dude, why would he get married? Like, they're so young, like, why they're our age, they're 20, 19, whatever, And I spoke with my mom about it. I said, it's crazy. My high school buddy is married now. She said, listen, he's in the Army. He has 100% medical benefits. His wife's going to get 100% medical benefits. If they have a child, that baby's going to get 100% medical benefits. He has guaranteed money. This guaranteed work. He's never going to have to worry about getting fired. That makes sense to get married at that age. And I just said, wow, I never even thought of that. Like, I don't even think about stuff like that. And I said, okay, well, I'm in a relationship. I want to be with her and maybe get married one day. It's like, I need to have that level. I need to be there, but I can't just, because where I was working at the moment, I'm like, this is a good job and all. This ain't no family raising money. I'm not making money where I can, take care of somebody. So I need to make a change. After I talked to you about this before, when I graduated high school, I had to pick up my diploma the next day. The next day I went to the school. I got a ride because I didn't have a car. I got a ride to the school. I think my aunt, and I picked up my diploma, got back in the car, and we drove away. And I looked back and I said, man, I'm out of school. Like, I'm done with school now. What the hell am I going to do? No college, no SAT score. I didn't do my SATs.
Mm-hmm.
No letters coming in from school, from colleges, no acceptance letters, no rejection letters. I got nothing going for myself. Wow, school's over. What the hell do I do now?
Mm-hmm.
And you see students walk in, and I'm like, that was me like 3 days ago. And now I'm done with school. What the hell am I going to do? And what's also crazy, the reason why I asked you the age question, you said it took you 23. It took me about 20. My grandparents at like 15 had jobs.
Oh.
You know what I mean? My grandparents, when they were young, had to start planning stuff. You know what I mean? Just that era. And even if you go back even further, there are little kids on farms, mowing, or not mowing, but rolling tractors and waking up at 4 a.m.
I've seen plenty of TV shows.
You know
like
what I
that.
mean? Like these kids that were working harder than we were at 20. When we were at 20, they're like at 12 putting more hours in a day than we were.
Mm-hmm.
So now, but if you keep going that trajectory, now we got 25-year-olds living with mama, living with, just doesn't want to work. They don't want to do anything. They want to hang out. They want to play the video games, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with playing video games.
I tell my mom, sorry to interrupt real quick, but yeah, I was telling her, I was like, they're not going anywhere, Mom. They're not going anywhere. You know why? Because that is sanctuary for them.
Yeah.
That's safe house.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry about the world outside as long as you're paying the bills. You're going to fix everything that they mess up. And they are, they're using your bills. Like you keep saying, you even have them on your cell phone bill. Like you're not even telling them to go get your own phone. Like go get your own phone, pay your own insurance for your own car. Like, you giving them this sanctuary thing. And I was like, you're not letting them work hard for whatever they're supposed to be working hard for.
Not letting them fall or fail or get scratches on the knee or something. It's crippling them. You know what I mean? It's not letting them learn how to overcome objectives or objections or overcome or barriers. Like that is a valuable life lesson that you can only get from experience. You and I can sit down with any one of our younger family members that are guys or girls even, and we can talk for hours about what it means to be just trying to overcome these obstacles in life. It won't mean anything to them. But when they hit that obstacle, if they overcome it,
right,
that feeling of I overcame that problem and I'm able to, I know I can do it. Remember the gas chamber in boot camp?
Oh man, bro.
You remember the gas chamber?
Bro, don't.
or sorry. The confidence chamber.
I had every fluid come out of my face that day, bro.
Yeah. There were people that almost passed out just thinking about going in there because they've heard about it, and me, I was more interested. I wasn't like looking forward to it, but I was like, man, I wonder what this is going to be like.
Yeah. It's the experience,
like, man,
right?
How rough, like thousands of people have done this before me. So it's not deadly. You know what I mean? So I'm like, this is going to suck, but I'm kind of interested. I'm kind of curious.
I gotta know.
Like, what's this about?
What people are talking about,
Yeah.
right? What was the toughest thing you did during boot camp? For me, it was a shooting range.
Really?
Yeah. It was a practice shooting range.
You know,
it wasn't even real bullets, bro.
The air gun thing.
Yeah,
you know,
it was
funny?
like the gaming.
I was so weak at that point in my life. I had trouble pulling the trigger because I had no muscles in my hands.
For real?
I was that weak. I had to sneak in my second finger and pull it with 2 fingers.
No, mine's worse.
not even lying.
Mine's worse. I was shaking. the gun because I had the RDCs.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you, man? Why can't you do it?
Yeah.
Did you pay attention during the? But I was like, the thing. Okay, what was going through my mind?
It's adrenaline.
It was the fact of me holding an actual gun.
Yeah.
I've never. My uncles told me these are your weapons. You don't need no gun, man. Hey, this is that Friday moment.
Yeah. But you live.
Yeah.
You live to fight another day.
Yeah. So that was my uncle, I had to get on the phone and they actually allowed me to, because I was really going through it, bro. Like that was the toughest part for me. But the next day, my mom told me, hey, you play video games. You play video games that do the same thing. Just treat it like that. And I was like, it actually made sense. After that, I was like, you know what? You're right.
The confidence chamber was meant to ensure you that there's equipment that you have that works, but it's also equipped to challenge you. Like everything in boot camp is meant to challenge you. They don't yell at you because they're bored. They yell at you to get you in a stressful position, a state of mind.
Yeah, condition you, yeah.
And condition you that you can actually work through that shit. It's not hard. Boot camp is not hard. Like it's
well, now it's not hard for real.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Hey,
hey, Great Lake. Hey, thank you for making it so much more enjoyable for the newer.
It's like a Disney. It's like a resort.
Yeah. Anyway, so they don't yell at you to make you to make you fail. Like that's not the purpose. The purpose is to get you out of your comfort zone and to help you realize that you can take on being yelled at, you can take on failing, you can take on messing up and still move forward. Like it's not about being stuck where you are right now because your feet's in the mud. It's about pulling one foot out, putting it forward, pull the other one out, and keep doing that until you accomplish the goal.
When I got fired or, whatever challenging or failing that I've gone through, I tell myself that's not the worst I've ever been through.
Things could be so much worse.
Yes, things can be so much worse.
Yeah.
I've worked on probably one of the most dangerous places on earth, the flight deck of a carrier.
Right.
I've worked almost 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
Almost without sleep. If I had to sleep, it would probably been in
an hour, maybe.
In the fuel station on the non-skid, I guess is what we call it.
Yeah.
You can actually sleep on non-skid.
Oh yeah, I've done it.
Yeah,
it's kind of comfortable. Oddly enough, being confronted with opposition is not a bad thing. Being confronted with something, like if you want to do something, but there's something or someone preventing you from doing it, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Any person who's ever been successful in life, like The Rock, or Donald Trump, or any other millionaire, multimillionaire out there, even Lil Wayne's been turned down before after the first $1 million. You know what I mean? People have said no to him. You just don't hear about it. So all you see is success, success, success. Look at Dwayne Johnson's story, The Rock, right?
Yeah.
I'll always call him The Rock. Dwayne Johnson just sounds weird to me. Not saying his name's weird. I'm not saying your name's weird. Look at his story. The dude was arrested when he was like a teenager. You know what I mean? He's been evicted. Not saying it was his fault, but I mean, the movies that, and this is going to come off kind of condescending or mean or disrespectful, but his movies are successful, but the successful movies he's made are continuations of already successful IPs. Like something is already created. Fast and Furious, Jumanji, what's the Rampage? That was a video game in the 90s. His number ones are already well established properties, and he just adds to it. But he had movies that were crap, in my opinion. You know what I mean? What's the one? Tooth Fairy. That was a stupid movie. The game plan was okay, but overall it didn't do anything. What's the one where he's on the building and he has one leg or something? He's like a building hotel developer, whatever he is. That movie wasn't that great either.
I don't want to forget about the Scorpion King.
The Scorpion King wasn't bad. His role in The Mummy 2.
Oh yeah,
that was bad.
Yeah.
It was a, what's it called? A
continuation of.
It was a spinoff. It was a spinoff of The Mummy, right? So a well-established
franchise already.
Huge. Well, I mean, there was two of them, but it was already popular. You know what I mean? So, and that's not to take anything away from him. If that's his road, that's his road. Congratulations.
Well, I mean,
but
if it works, why do something?
Right. But if he failed on this movie, that movie, and he just gave up, he wouldn't be anywhere where he is now.
Yeah.
Where he can just show up to WWE and say, John Cena, you're a heel now.
Oh, I heard about that.
Opposite, like whenever we get pushback, we want to move that way, but something's pushing us back, or someone or some force or something is preventing us from achieving the goal. If all it takes is a little pushback for you to abandon your goal, that goal was never your goal. It was never yours in the first place.
Right.
If you want something is over here and you're right here and you got to get there, but this thing's in the way, and that's all it takes for you to about face and go somewhere else, you don't, that was never yours. You know, it was never, leave that for somebody who really wants it, because obviously that's not you. Now, if you're here and that's there and this thing's in the way and you decide to do a little walk around and just get to your goal, sometimes it's that easy. If you can't walk around because it's blocking you all the way, then maybe you have to go over it. Maybe you have to go under it. Maybe you have to somehow find a way to bust right through it. There's 1,000 different ways to get here. You just got to figure out which one it is. And if you have to try 999 times, then you have to try 999 times. But most people, and I'm guilty of this myself. I'm not saying I'm elevated above anyone else. Sometimes I get like, man, I don't know, it's too
Discouraged?
much work. Discouraged.
Yeah.
I get just, I can't do it, man, because if I do this, it's going to cost me, and then it's going to have a negative effect on the back end.
I relate, man. So you got two guys digging, right?
Yeah.
And they're both digging for the gold or whatever. They're digging for treasure, you know? Guy is constantly digging and constantly digging. Both guys are constantly digging, but one of them gives up, but the other one kept digging. He actually became rich for that, you know, for that treasure. But it's what I'm saying is that the guy who gave up, if he just a little bit more, just that little tiny bit of distance, if he kept on digging, he would have become successful. He was
right there. Yeah.
He would have been rich, or, you know, and that's how we kind of treat it in the crypto world. Like, yo, you got all these ups and downs. Most people are not willing to, you know, do the roller coaster ride, you know, the ups and downs. Oh, it's just down. I'm not making no money. Oh, it's time to give up. Let me just take all my money back out and put it back in the bank or whatever, because I'm not succeeding. This is all craziness. Yeah. What people don't realize is that, you know, when you're invested, and if you are investing, you understand the long haul. You know, you got to stay in it. You got to keep trying. You got to do your best. I always say that goes for almost everything, not just crypto. It's like you got to keep going. You know, you got to keep pushing through it, and most people don't like doing that.
It's the hot spot. Tell them what you got. Welcome to the hot spot. Get straight off the top.